And we are live. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for your patience. Good evening and welcome to Dramatically Successful Public Speaking with transformational voice coach Ariana Lisa Newcomer. My name is Rodney Washington, Entrepreneur Concierge, and I work with conscious entrepreneurs by providing business coaching and online marketing systems customized to their individual needs. I'm pleased to be the producer of today's Hangout. Today, I'd like to introduce you to Ariana Lisa Newcomer. Ariana is a transformational voice coach, developer of the Reclaim Your Authentic Voice program and Bodywork for Voice. Ariana teaches conscious entrepreneurs, coaches, and authors to own and voice their value, speak confidently from their authentic selves, and communicate powerfully for dramatically successful public speaking.
Yay! Welcome, everyone. I am so glad to have you here. Welcome to my second Google Hangout, and welcome to my wonderful coachees for this Hangout, Tamar Levine, Karen Kiefauver, and Nadine Watson. I am going to coach them on how to use their voices more effectively, and I want to let you know that I am really on a mission. We're going to talk more about this later in the call because Tamar is very with me on this. I am on a mission to really change the world. A lot of us are out there talking about that. And how do we do that? Well, one of the ways that we do that is when we are out there trying to get our message across and to change the cultural conversation, we speak with power and confidence. We speak with a lot of expression and passion about what we do, so that we can actually change the culture so that we become a true partnership society where men and women are equal partners with each other and we are all in partnership with our planet. So let's jump in, and I would like to ask Karen if you would go first, please. Karen is going to read us her mission statement for her business, and then I'll coach her. Jump in, Karen.
All right. I'll dive right in. My name is Karen Kiefauver. I teach entrepreneurs and small business owners how to harness the power of social media. On Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and blogging, I'll show you how to find new clients, engage current clients, and increase your overall exposure. For 20 years, I've been a freelance journalist, which means that my photography and writing experience can help boost your visibility. And I want to help you with your social media.
Great. Good. First of all, you already use quite a bit of expression in your voice, which is wonderful. One tip I'm going to give you is that sometimes at the ends of sentences your voice goes down a little bit too low, and you get into sort of gravelly range. Your voice kind of goes down into here and it starts to gravel a little bit. That is going to tire your voice out very quickly, and I know you lead workshops and you teach people, and so you need to have your voice work for you for that whole workshop. And I think we've actually talked in the past about the fact that your voice tends to get a bit tired.
Yes, it does.
Right?
That's a problem.
Yeah, okay. So that's one thing I'm going to ask you to think about. So I want you to go back to, now, just so everybody knows, I have an external webcam that is up a little higher than my computer because I am standing up. I always love to stand when I am doing these Hangouts, when I'm on my teleseminars or webinars or when I'm coaching someone, because I can speak better when I'm standing, and so can you. So that's one of the things I always recommend to people is you stand up to deliver your teleseminars, your webinars, and even if you are coaching someone on the phone, because your voice will automatically be more energized when you do that. So when you see me looking down like this, I'm looking at my computer screen where I have the mission statements so that I can refer to them when I'm coaching.
And as you know, I went a little bit off script. I was nervous.
Right. Surprise. Good. So let's go back to the beginning. I teach entrepreneurs and small business owners how to harness the power of social media And just think about keeping your pitch slightly higher. Now, I'm talking about the difference between I teach entrepreneurs and small business owners, and I teach entrepreneurs and small business owners. I'm not talking about going up into little girl like this. Mm-hmm. So just a slight pitch rise. Try that out, Karen.
Okay. I teach entrepreneurs and small business owners how to harness the power of social media.
Great. How did that feel to you?
It felt different and a little challenging because I'm used to dropping down, as you noticed.
Right. Yes, and we have habits of speech.
Yes.
The way that we speak is determined by not just the size and shape of our larynx and our resonators, but also habits that we've gotten into. And I've coached a lot of women who have dropped their voice down unconsciously, sound more authoritative.
Wow.
Perhaps because they've been in a business situation with mostly men.
And
that seems like what they need to do. But if you drop too low for your instrument, then you get into trouble, as we've been talking about. So it's not uncommon for women to do this.
Yes.
So just that slight pitch rise will really give you a voice that lasts for longer. So go on to your next sentence and see if you can keep that just slightly higher pitch.
Okay. On Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and vlogging, I'll show you how to find new clients, engage current clients, and increase your overall exposure. I heard the word exposure feeling strained.
Great. Good. How did that feel?
It felt good until the last sentence, until the last word.
But it didn't go down as low. Okay.
Great.
Good. I lost your sound for a minute, and let me say also to everyone who's watching or watching the replay, we do sometimes have technical issues with Hangouts, and so somebody might have to drop off and come back on, or we might lose sound for a moment and it comes back. So bear with us, roll with us. We're all going to be playing with technology here as we go on. So good, Karen. So you felt a little bit of strain when you said the word exposure.
Exactly.
Okay, try that sentence again and see if you can think of the sound as going along this way horizontally instead of up and down.
Okay. On Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and blogging, I'll show you how to find new clients, engage current clients, and increase your overall exposure.
How did that feel? Sound and feel to you.
It felt better. It's subtle difference, but
yes.
It did feel better.
Yeah, it is very subtle. We're dealing with very, very small changes, but they can make a big difference for you. And now let's talk about the expressive quality. So as I said, you're generally very expressive, but let's play and see what will happen if we add even more expression to it. Now let me read you that last sentence in the way that you said it. I know you were thinking about the pitch more than anything, so this is not to say it was bad, but okay. So on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and blogging, I'll show you how to find new clients, engage current clients, and increase your overall exposure. So not lacking in expression, but kind of measured. And so how about if it were on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and blogging, I'll show you how to find new clients, engage current clients, and increase your overall exposure. How did that sound?
Great. I'll need you as my pitch woman.
Okay, try it out.
Okay. On Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and blogging, I'll show you how to find new clients, engage current clients, and increase your overall exposure.
Yeah, now that was more expressive. What did the others think of that one? Give Karen a little feedback.
I thought it was wonderful. It sounded so much more engaging, pulled me in immediately.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Good. Great. Okay, now let's go on into I have 20 years freelance writing and photography experience, and do it for me in a way that would sound to you like it's really over the top. Really a lot of expression, like you're reading to kindergartners.
I have 20 years freelance writing and photography experience. Did that sound over the top enough? Okay.
Go on, and then I'll tell you.
I have 20 years freelance writing and photography experience with national magazines and newspapers like the San Francisco Chronicle.
Good.
Is that my stopping point?
Fine. Now, Nadine, did you think that was way over the top?
Not so much. Not like the very first time. It's a little more toned down.
Right. Okay. So this is just to illustrate that what we think is really over the top is usually not.
Wow.
We are usually using a lot less expression than we think.
Right. Because I felt a little like a clown.
Okay. So there's a story there. If I use that much expression, I'm going to sound like a clown. I won't sound professional. Maybe there's an idea about what a professional person sounds like.
Right.
Now, let me do way over the top for you. I have 20 years of experience freelance writing and photography with national magazines and newspapers like the San Francisco Chronicle. Okay, was that over the top?
Yes, but I feel like that's what I sounded like.
No. No, you were nowhere close to that level.
Okay.
Here, I'll try and remember what you did and demonstrate for you again. Okay. I have 20 years freelance writing and photography experience with national magazines and newspapers like the San Francisco Chronicle. Okay. Was that over the top?
No, not at all.
That was closer to the way you did it, and it's been a little while, so I'm not sure if I was quite on, but
okay.
So again, you're not using as much expression as you think.
That's right.
And it may have to do with an idea about how to sound professional. Does that ring a bell for you?
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah. But then when we're busy being professional and sounding professional and being careful to sound businesslike and professional, then we can kind of lose the expression and we lose the excitement, we lose the passion, we lose the interest, and we're going to lose our listeners.
Right.
Right, like I just did. You kind of started to tune me out just now, didn't you?
No.
Because of the way I was talking. It's like, oh, let my brain go to sleep. This is a tip for everybody who's watching. Our brains are hardwired to tune out when things are staying the same. It's one of our survival mechanisms. And if you were sitting out in front of your cave and your brain is scanning the surroundings to see if there's a tiger in the bushes waiting to attack you, that's an important skill. And you know if nothing is changing out there that you don't have to pay close attention.
Right.
But that happens when we're listening to people who are speaking, and I'm sure you have all experienced it.
Yes.
If you had a teacher at school who droned on and on like this, and they had clearly been teaching the same thing for too long, and they were boring, and everybody in the class is going,
right.
Your brain just tunes out.
Right. That's true.
So, Karen, let's do one more go. Do your whole thing.
Okay.
And do it with way more expression than you think.
Okay. Alrighty, here we go.
Okay.
Shall I start with I teach?
Yep.
Okay. I teach entrepreneurs and small business owners how to harness the power of social media on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and blogging. I'll show you how to find new clients, engage current clients, and increase your overall exposure. I have 20 years freelance writing and photography experience with national magazines and newspapers like the San Francisco Chronicle.
Beautiful. I loved it. That was really engaging and really expressive and really took me in much more, gave me more of a sense of who you are, and that's what we also want. We want our clients to be able to connect with who we are so they know if they want to hire us or not.
Right.
So that extra amount of expression allows us to know a little more about who you are and whether or not you're the person that we want to work with.
Thank you.
So really valuable. Good. And just a little tip again, the ends of sentences tended to go a little too far down.
Okay.
So that's just something to be aware of and continue working on
Yes.
as we go. And if you and I were working together, that's something that I would give you specific practices for.
Got it. And I do feel compelled to say I had one more sentence, which was a call to action, but I was feeling that my whole spiel was too long, so I skipped that part.
Well, please feel free if anyone watching wants to contact you, where do they go?
To my website, which is KarenKeepover.com. And I'm also on Facebook as well.
Great. Good.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Karen. That was really great.
Or I should say thank you.
Yes.
That was expressive.
Okay, all right, Nadine, you're up.
Yes. Thank you. So you want me to read my mission statement?
Yes.
So the name of my coaching practice is Sagacy Coaching. Saga is a story, and Sagacy is to see the story. I work with clients through a one-on-one coaching relationship, listening to what they tell me and what they don't tell me. I create a personalized development plan that is purpose and outcome driven to invite clients to live into a new story or a new perspective. I work with clients over a period of time to help them increase awareness, accomplish goals, and achieve excellence. Clients are able to gain liberation from self-defeating habits and traits, gain a renewed sense of self and self-worth, and achieve excellence in their endeavors and live life to the fullest. Sign up for a free discovery session by visiting my website, sagacycoaching.com. Thank you.
Okay, good. Great. Now, I've lost Nadine's video, one of these technological glitches. Oh, there. Now you're back. Now I can see you again. Good. Great. Now, Nadine, you were just reading to a certain extent, which we're all doing, and that makes it harder to just really put your all into it. But let's go to, let me get into your, now you also have a bigger mission statement that you sent me, and we'll get into that one too. But, and I love your Sagacy Coaching, and the saga is a story, and Sagacy, I forget how to say it, is to see the story, which is wonderful. And I would love to hear you really say that and give it the excitement that I'm sure you had when you discovered that name for your business.
Right. So Sagacy is, the name of my coaching practice is Sagacy Coaching. Saga is a story or a narrative, and Sagacy is to see the story.
Great. Okay. Let me do it for you the way you did it. The name of my coaching practice is Sagacy Coaching. Saga is a story. Sagacy is to see the story. How did that sound to you?
It sounds flat.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're not using as much expression as you think you are either. So, okay, try this. The name of my coaching practice is Sagacy Coaching. Saga is a story. Sagacy is to see the story.
Okay. The name of my coaching practice is Sagacy Coaching. Saga is a story. Sagacy is to see the story.
Better. Better. How did that sound to the others here?
Much improved.
Close, better. I noticed that
Yeah.
she still held back compared to what you said.
Yeah, yeah. So, Nadine, I know that you're a fairly quiet person since I've met you several times, and you're just naturally a quieter person. Is that right?
Pretty much. Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
Some would think so, some would think not.
Right, and it sure depends on the circumstances. But so there could be some story here for you about sounding professional, the way it was for Karen. But let me ask you also about your family growing up. Were you naturally quieter than your siblings? Do you have siblings?
Yes, that is so true. That's children are to be seen and not heard. Rings so true for me.
Okay.
Yeah, so speaking up is definitely a challenge at times.
Okay, great. Now that's a really important story to realize that you have, because you've really internalized that and it has affected the way that you speak. So your habit of speaking comes out of that children should be seen and not heard, and you generally speak very quietly. So let's think about how we can shift that. And this is one that I work with, especially women, on a lot, but I have had male clients who have this issue also. I worked with one man who's originally from Turkey, and actually when his father was at home, his father was the only person allowed to speak in the house. So this man developed a very quiet habit of speaking. So you're going to have to let yourself bust out of that habit. So let's take, let's see. Let's go to your next sentence. I work with clients through a one-on-one coaching relationship, and give it some punch and power.
I work with clients through a one-on-one coaching relationship.
Yes. How did that feel?
I had to take a deep breath there, but yeah, it felt good.
And that was actually a perfect thing to do, because voice is all about breath. The airflow going across the vocal folds is what makes sound. So let's all actually do that. Let's put our hands on our solar plexus, upper belly, and take a deep breath and make that part of your belly expand. So you can get the diaphragm is the muscle that creates our breath, and it actually goes down as we inhale and it goes up as we exhale. So we need to allow our belly to relax and expand as we inhale in order for the diaphragm to go down as far as it can. And this is against another story we grew up with, which is to hold your stomach in so you have good posture. Not good for voice. And you can actually have good posture without holding your stomach in. So again, just take a nice deep breath into that solar plexus area, Nadine. Good. And now let's go to your big mission statement. I work with clients to assist them in gaining insight into their deepest aspirations. Your clients need to know that you are a powerful guide for them. And Tomar, actually, I need to ask you if you could sit quietly because when you move, Google picks you up and puts you up in the big screen. Okay. Nadine?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yes.
Okay.
I work with clients to assist them in gaining insight into their deepest aspirations.
Yes. I assist them so they're able to see what is possible to be, do, and have in life. Go.
I assist them so that they are able to. Excuse me.
That's okay.
Let me start over.
Yeah.
So
just
I
go
work
over.
with clients to. I work with clients to assist them in gaining insight into their deepest aspirations. I assist
Deep
them so
breath.
they're able to.
Deep breath. Let your voice come from down here in your belly.
Okay. I work with clients to assist them in gaining insight into their deepest aspirations. I assist them so they are able to see what is possible to be, do, and have in life.
Great. Yeah. That's much better, and you could still do more, actually. So let's see. All for the purpose of being able to live a life of joy, fullness, and excellence. Say that.
Okay. All for the purpose of living a life of joy, fullness, and excellence.
That was beautiful. How did that feel for you?
It felt full. It felt lively.
Good.
Hearing it, it made me excited. I thought, wow, I want that.
Good.
That's what I
That's what we're
want.
looking for. So
Yeah.
that you start to make the connection. Remember, I was talking about we actually have to reveal enough about ourselves for our clients to connect with us. Otherwise, how do they know that we're the right person for them? So another piece of this sometimes with not expressing our full selves through our voice can be the idea that I have to keep myself private, or I want to keep myself private. But our voice is us on this most intimate level. And when we're holding back with our voice, people hear that. They get that we're holding back. They get that we're not fully there communicating with them. And that affects our listeners too. So you're actually much better off revealing more about kind of the essence of who you are, the wonderfulness of who you are in your voice, because then people can actually connect with you. And we all really want that connection. And you don't have to tell them intimate details of your life. Those things remain private, but the essence of who you are needs to come out in your voice. All right? So let's do your big mission statement all the way through one more time and really let us hear the passion that you have for your work and what you do.
Okay. I work with clients to assist them in gaining insight into their deepest aspirations. I assist them so that they are able to see what is possible to be, do, and have in life. All for the purpose of being able to live a life of joy, fullness, and excellence.
Yahoo! I love that. That got me. What did you guys think?
Bravo.
I thought it,
Bravo.
I thought
Look
it
at the big
was
smile
excellent.
on your face now, too.
And I thought the first part could be delivered a little more slowly for added emphasis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Right. Great. And now I know that you have happened to express to me in the past that your accent is a bit of concern for you. And to me, I don't have any worry about your accent at all. When you speak with that much expression, when I hear your heart, the accent is of no matter whatsoever.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you and I were going to work together, we would work more on breathing. And I'm sure you have some other voice stories that probably are holding you back. And when we're changing the voice habits of a lifetime, it takes time and it takes consistent practice. So for you, I would give you specific practice assignments in order to gradually increase the expression in your voice and gradually strengthen your voice so that you could handle that amount of expression without your voice wearing out on you when you're trying to talk for half an hour at a time.
Right, good.
So this is something for all of the listeners and viewers to know, is that when you're practicing new voice techniques, your voice might get tired, but it should never hurt. If it starts to hurt, then you need to stop and you need to contact me or a speech therapist because you're doing something that could potentially give you an injury to your voice. Great. So wonderful, Nadine. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling great, Ariana. Thank you so much for the tips, and thank you.
You are welcome. And I love seeing that beautiful smile now. Good. Okay, Tomar, are you ready?
I guess so.
Okay.
I'm going to sit upright rather than stand.
Yes, we have to be where our webcams can see us.
Okay, so you want me to start, right?
Yep.
And I bit off something big because I decided when you said big mission, I took you at your word.
Yes.
This is a very big mission.
Yes, and I
Okay.
love it.
And it's something I've never said in public before. I just want to say that also. So it's kind of very meaningful for me. My big mission is to help bring heaven to earth, to help birth a new world and a new reality. I know I am part of a huge team of midwives who took birth at this time to join in the work of global and human transformation. I know there are countless many of us, and each has a unique role to play. My role is to inspire, uplift, awaken, and empower other souls so they too can bring their gifts out of hiding and contribute to the great turning. My role is to be a bridge between the spiritual and human realms to bring guidance and clarity to people's journeys. My role is to be a pillar of strength and beacon of light in times of turmoil. And my role is to sing my own song of beauty and joy to help lift the energies of the earth. I do all of this in my work as teacher, artist, writer, healer, intuitive life purpose and career guide, and Akashic record reader for your business. I'm also here to declare that it's never too late to bloom and to help many ripe souls blossom in any season.
Yay, and that's already quite beautiful. So the others of you on the panel, any remarks immediately for Tomar?
I liked the softer touch in the very beginning, given the context and what she was talking about. But then it became, as you were saying before, Ariana, like it just kind of the same tone, and so I had to struggle just to stay with what it was that Tomar, what you were saying.
I found the level of expression in the beginning was really good, and then it tapered off a little bit. That was my experience.
Yeah, and I would say that in general, I loved the expression that you were using, and then as Nadine pointed out, it is a long statement, as you know, so it had kind of the same level throughout.
Right.
So that would be the main thing that I would suggest that we work with, is just to find certain places where we're going to bring it back a little bit, other places where we're going to pop it out a little bit. And then also for you, the thing that I mentioned to Karen, occasionally you have a tendency to allow your voice to drop down a little bit too low. And as you get into doing workshops and leading courses and things, that could be a problem for you. Excuse me.
I noticed I actually ran out of breath at one point. I had to gasp because I let my voice go beyond my breath.
Yes, right. So, again, breathing is foundational, and that's one of the primary things that I work with my clients on, is to get the right kind of breathing for voice to really support your voice, and so that you have the amount of air that you need to get through your full phrases with the full expression that you want to use. So as we're beginning again tomorrow, use your hands on your belly, and whenever you take a breath, give yourself a full amount of time to breathe and get that deep belly breath before you begin. So it might take away from the flow for the time being, but let's just practice that deep breath. So start off, now your big mission, my kind of feeling about that would be that this is bigger. This is a place that we want it to really pop. And that, so excuse me, I'm losing track of what I'm trying to say. Try using a lot more expression and a little more volume right at the beginning, and then see where there's a place that you can pull it back a little bit to vary the tone. Go.
My big mission is to help bring heaven to earth, to help birth a new world and a new reality. I know I'm part of a huge team of midwives who took birth at this time to join in the work of global and human transformation. I know there are countless many of us, and each has a unique role to play.
Okay.
My role.
Good. Let's just stop there and play with this first part again a little bit. So you are also generally a soft-spoken person. Would you say that you've heard that before?
Yes. I have heard that. I have heard that.
Okay. So, and there's a quality in your voice which is really lovely and soft and warm, and I really enjoy listening to your voice. And if you were up in the front of a room and you were delivering this mission, you would be hard to hear because your voice is just so relaxed and open and wide open. So I want you to play a little bit with sounding like a witch. So pick, I know I'm part of a huge team of midwives, and see if you can sound like a witch when you say that.
I know I'm part of a huge team of midwives who took birth at this time to join in the work of global and human transformation.
Okay, good. That's enough. Great. This is one of the things that I help people learn to use a little bit of in order for their voice to actually project so that you can really be heard. So I also call it the nya voice. So it's kind of like saying nya. But it's actually a muscle that does that. We think of that as a nasal voice quality, but I can do that with my nose plugged. It's not really nasal. There's a muscle that does that, and you can learn to use a little bit of that muscle, which will help give your voice projection. So we played a little bit with that, but this is one of those things that I would work with you carefully over time to develop that muscle strength. So it's something that I wouldn't suggest that you practice necessarily on your own, because I wouldn't want you to injure your voice. And there's another thing that can happen if you're trying that quality, if you don't have a professional ear listening, that can make you get into trouble. So this is one of the things that I would work with you on if we were working together on a regular basis, is to get some of that quality into your voice and have you able to either use it or not use it whenever you need it. And it's also a great quality if you're in a crowded, noisy restaurant and you're trying to be heard the person across the table from you, or you're trying to order in the deli where there's a lot of noise. So having a little bit of this in your voice, it makes your voice just kind of cut across the noise. It's a great tool to have. But, okay, good. So let's go back to the beginning. Now,
Yes.
for me, this is how I would say this, and you and I are very aligned in our missions. We're both really working for cultural transformation. So I love this, and I'm so glad that you wrote it and that we have it going live today. My big mission is to help bring heaven to earth, to help birth a new world and a new reality. I know I'm part of a huge team of midwives who took birth at this time to join in the work of global and human transformation. Try that.
My big mission is to help bring heaven to earth, to help birth a new world and a new reality. I know I'm part of a huge team of midwives who took birth at this time to join in the work of global and human transformation.
Yeah, what did you all think of that one?
Much more powerful.
Yeah, I sounded like I was more like I was running for office.
Okay, now there could be a story there. There could be a story that you have about if I sound like that, then maybe it's a little phony. Does running for office equate with phony to you?
I have to think about it. It's just really a lot more assertive and has more of an edge, has a lot of authority.
And that can sometimes be a difficult thing for us women to take on, because there's a cultural conversation that says that women's voices are less important than men's. That if women sound powerful, then it means we're bitchy or hostile, right? There's a wonderful story. You probably all have heard of Sheryl Sandberg's book, Lean In. She's the chief financial officer of Facebook, and she wrote a book about women in leadership in corporations and in politics, and why it's so difficult for women to get into those situations. And part of it is that we hold ourselves back because we are part of this cultural conversation also. We've taken in this story with our mother's milk, with our food our whole life, with all of the myths and stories that we grew up with. We've taken in this story, and sometimes, like Nadine, children should be seen and not heard. Or for another of my clients, specifically, girls should be seen and not heard. But there's a story in Sandberg's book about a psychological study that was done. They gave people, men and women, a story to read about a business person who did certain things. And the stories were exactly the same, only in one story the protagonist was Harry, and in the other one the protagonist was Harriet. Everybody liked Harry. Nobody liked Harriet.
Interesting.
The stories were exactly the same.
Wow.
So, and men and women reacted the same way.
Wow. Wow.
So this is part of the cultural story that we have to shift. We women have to be able to take command. We have to be able to speak powerfully and confidently in order to take our place as partners. And I'm not saying we should have power over men, but we need to join with. And so both men and women have to change their listening to allow for and respect the power of women's authentic voices. So with that perspective, Tamar, go again.
From the beginning?
Sorry, Tamar.
From the beginning. My big mission is to help bring heaven to earth, to help birth a new world and a new reality. I know I'm part of a huge team of midwives who took birth at this time to join in the work of global and human transformation. I know there are
Beautiful.
countless many of us, and each has a unique role to play.
Beautiful. Now, I felt the energy in that all the way over the internet. And you're in New York and I'm in California. That was much more powerful to me. How did it feel to you?
Yeah, it felt like I was really projecting that almost laser beam of intention forward.
Yes, and that absolutely came through in your voice. And let me just say right now that voice is vibration, sound is vibration, everything has a vibration. And our voices vibrate us, our own bodies, and they vibrate our listeners also. And we feel sound. We don't just hear it in our ears, we feel it in our bodies. So we can actually feel the energetic intention when it comes through in your voice. So it isn't just what you're saying, it's the energy of your speaking that also creates communication. So that's actually something that I've worked on with each of you, is when we're working with expression and the level of expression, we're also working with the amount of energy that's coming through, right? But your own voice can be your own sound healer. And speaking powerfully in this way, Tomar, can actually shift those old stories without your having to process them with a psychotherapist or anything.
Right.
So that's one of the things that I work with my clients on, is that the way that you speak affects the way that you are, and can, when you change the way that you speak, you actually heal yourself energetically of those old stories. Good.
Yes.
So let's see what else. Okay, so I also want to say that I had an Akashic Record business reading with Tomar that was wonderful, and I loved it. And I want to recommend her to those of you who'd be interested in that. She is wonderful at that, and it's really illuminating. So, Tomar, let people know where they can get hold of you.
Oh, thank you very much, Ariana, and it was a wonderful experience for me to connect with you on that deep level. So the way to communicate with me is just email me at tomar@soulguidanceforyourbusiness.com. And of course, at my website, you'll see a lot of information about my services. But the particular service that Ariana is talking about isn't yet on display. This is my new service that I'm developing. So please feel free to email me. Thank you.
Good. Okay, so any comments to Tamar from the others of you as we finish up with her?
There was a dramatic difference in that last presentation, and I really liked it because your message is really big and really powerful, and you had more expression, and you also paused a little bit to let it sink in, because it really is an enormous, powerful thing that you're doing. So I thought your last time you really aced it.
Oh, thank you, Karen.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. What I love about that point, if I could add to that, is that what I've learned as developing my voice also and public speaking is that the pauses are something that many of us become really afraid of. And it's the pauses that actually create the most power. People are automatically pulled in when you start to stop and give that moment to catch your breath and give the audience a chance to really resonate and hear what you shared. So I learned from my own personal experiences and working with Ariana as well as don't be afraid of the pauses. They're actually the most powerful part of your presentation. And you did that beautifully. So, bravo.
Thank you.
Great. Okay, and Rodney, do we want to look and see if any of our viewers, listeners have any questions?
I am checking now to see if anyone's come in. And in just a moment.
So we do have a little bit of time for me to answer some questions on air. So if you have some, if you can pop them into the Facebook event page or right below the video as you're watching it, there should be a comment section. You should be able to pop your questions in right there.
I have a question at the moment. I'm just curious, Ariana, if you could just comment on how you got into this line of work, because I think it's fascinating.
Yes, thank you. I forgot that at the beginning. Thanks, Karen. I used to be a professional opera singer, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was the thing that Spirit meant for me to do in this world. And then I got a voice injury. And a couple of years after that, my marriage ended. And my journey to recover a healthy voice has taken me through all kinds of really interesting avenues. And part of reclaiming my authentic voice was getting a divorce and taking command of my own life again. And so all of the things that I have learned, both personal and technical for my voice and spiritual, have come into my work with Reclaim Your Authentic Voice.
Wow. Thank you. That's really interesting.
Yeah. And the work I do with people includes energy clearing and healing, because as I was talking about, our voice is energy, it is vibration. Our voice vibrates our own bodies and our own energy field. And when you're holding your voice back, often there's an energetic holdback somewhere in your body. So we do work on clearing those things in addition to uncovering those voice stories and clearing those out as well.
Wow.
So any of you watching who would like to talk to me and discover more about anything that you've heard here, you are welcome to apply for a Transform Your Public Speaking session with me. It's a complimentary 30-minute session where we'll go into any issue that you want to talk about and talk about the possibility of working together. And there is a button on the page that you can click on to go to schedule a session. I would love to have you join me for a complimentary Transform Your Public Speaking session.
And I am adding that URL here as well for everyone who is in Google Chat. If you don't see the link to watch the presentation and see that button, I provided that in the chat area as well.
Okay, great. Great. So I assume that we haven't had anybody jump in with any questions. Does anyone?
See
Rodney?
one. No, I don't see one. I see a lot of comments and a lot of praise for all of you.
Oh, great.
Okay, wonderful. And I do want to say thank you to each of these beautiful, wonderful women, and to my fabulous Rodney, who is the rock of my business. So I recommend him for his entrepreneur concierge business. He takes care of me very well, and he is a wonderful person to boot. So I thank you all for joining me on this Hangout today. It was really a lot of fun. I had a great time, and I hope you guys all learned something of value to take with you, and those of you watching and listening, I hope this has been valuable for you. And I will be doing more of these Hangouts, so if you are interested in being coached live on one of my Hangouts, let me know. You can email me through my website, ariana@reclaimyourauthenticvoice.com, or you can find me on Facebook or put it on the Facebook event page or on Google+, let me know that you would like to be considered to be coached on air, and I will contact you.
Thank you so much. It was really wonderful.
That was great. And thank you, everyone, and especially Rodney. Thank you, Rodney.
It's my pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you,
Okay.
Ariana.
All right.
Good. Rodney, take us out.
All right, I will. So everyone, thank you so much for joining us. Again, as Ariana said, we'll be doing more of these in 2014. If you'd like to be considered for a spot for future, please reach out to Ariana. She does have a newsletter that she sends out, and you can find out more about that. The replay will be available of this presentation on the page. If you're on the actual Reclaim Your Authentic Voice page website, the replay will be available there, as well as your opportunity to book a complimentary session with Ariana, which I highly recommend. So take advantage of that opportunity now before the holidays and get ready to reclaim your authentic voice and have a wonderful, wonderful 2014. So with that said, this is Rodney Washington, your Entrepreneur Concierge, signing off. Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.